All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here I am in New York again. So, as I was eating my first meal, first of all, let me rewind so you guys get the idea of like, why am I back here? Why am I doing the New York Pro? What's going on? I signed the contract for the Pittsburgh Pro a long time ago. I signed a contract before the Arnold when I went to the NBC News photo gym to Road to the Arnold. I committed to that show. Then, I did the Arnold. Then that was 8 weeks between the Arnold and the Pittsburgh Pro, which is a very long time. It's a very long time when you've been going for a very long time. And I have been going since last February. So I didn't even realize that, but I started prep. I remember having that cake for my birthday, and that kind of was pretty much it because I moved to Vegas in April. I remember not being able to eat at Flex's grand opening at the Dragon's Lair. Mid-June, July, it was the Chicago, and then I went to Tampa Pro. Then I did the Powerhouse Michigan. Then I did the Arnold. Then 2 weeks after that, the Olympia. And then the Arnold again. No. Oh my God, no, not even. So I did Sacramento Pro and the Iron Games, which are like big shows. And fast forward to the Arnold again. So I did the Arnold, and then I obviously had like 8 weeks to do a couple of adjustments, coming back from the Arnold. Even though I won, they still wanted like a little bit more fullness into my glutes and just a little bit more fullness like overall. And I completely agree with that. And we made amazing adjustment with Kim. But those 8 weeks, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, were miserable. And I love the sport and it saved me from, giving up. But it was very long. And, I've been busting you guys' ears about how much I needed a break and XYZ. But again, once I commit, I don't back down on my words. And I haven't. But, I remember calling, my parents, and like, I'm really over all this, over prepping, over like not being able to just not prep, because prepping is prepping. Like, you have to be 1000% in it. As much as I make it look easy, and I do try to make it as much balance as I can, and I make a lot of sacrifices as far as like being the exact athlete that I envisioned to be able to like be a girlfriend and be a daughter and be a sister, or be like Lauralie in the midst of like all that. But reality is, you can just be so much of Lauralie the sister, Lauralie the daughter, Lauralie the XYZ, if you want to be Lauralie the athlete. And this is how it has to be for the next 8 weeks of your life. You can only be Lauralie the girlfriend, Lauralie the daughter, Lauralie the sister in between every 3-hour meal, or like every 2 hours, because after that you have to like cook your meal and be Lauralie the athlete again. And like, you never back down. Everything has to be calculated, my sleep and everything. So if you want to be, the athlete and just like put all your chances on the side, like the balance cannot be in prep. That's the reality. Realize that. I've been doing that for a long time. So there's a couple things that I'm able to adjust, to adjust and just like kind of let go of little things. But I've been most of my life, I remember being at school, and if it wasn't my own meal, my own meal from, you know, my kitchen, measure with my scale, with my spices, with my salt, I was not eating all day. Or I would like literally go on my lunch break to the grocery store, get my egg white. That's where the hard-boiled egg whites come from, because in Canada, you don't have Whole Foods that cook like chicken for you. I would go there, get a couple packs of egg whites. Sometimes they don't even have them, which, you know, I would drink protein shake. But I was like, I've been that person. And as much as I do believe that you have to go through that structure and like live through it and like knowing what it is, do I think it's required if that disturbs your peace to a point where you're either not going to eat all day? Because I've done that in the past. I was just like, you know, that's not my chicken. I'm not going to eat all day, and just like come back to the house and just eat. You know, that would happen like once in a month. Like, but still, would I look like, looking back, would I've done things the same way on that day? Probably not. I would be like, girl, common sense here. You're better off not being in a catabolic state or a stressful state or just a miserable state. Eat chicken that's not your chicken, eyeball it, and then, you know, get your carbs and your fat like later when you're able to measure it. Long story short, that's not where I wanted to go, but oh, that's where I was going. My flight yesterday. I can't even remember where I was going with that. Yeah, being miserable and done. So, from winning the Arnold, I had, I want to say like maybe a week of like food eating, whatever, and I was already back on prep. Was I ready to go back on prep? No, I wasn't. I was so ready to kind of be, I was over it, but in a good, like, I've been over it for the last 8 weeks, and in a way where not like I'm gonna burn out, or like, oh my god, I hate the sport so much now, you know, I just want to be done and over with. If I was in that mental state of just like being like disgusted about the sport, trust me, I wouldn't push it. I always told myself, as long as this sport makes me happy and brings me happiness and peace and what's not, I'm still gonna do it. So it was just kind of like, girl, you gotta push through. Thank God I did, because the Pittsburgh Pro has been such an amazing experience again. Such an amazing experience. So glad I've done such a prestigious show and in an incredible lineup. And fact of the matter is, after winning the show, which I had, honestly, I was just like, one, I need to show up, because this is my first show as Miss Bikini International. Normally you don't see that happen. I don't recall of any, you know, once you win the Arnold, like someone doing another show. They just call it off and just rest until the Olympia, which you kind of own the right to. And it's like, it's also a way to protect your title, right? Because it's a big risk. It's a big risk to be at my 9th show of the season, knowing that my body is tired. Put yourself out there and compete against big names that are just returning and just resting for a long time. It was stressful, and but I made it through, and I got the feedback that was my best package ever. And that was just an incredible feeling. That was just, you know, when Sandy came backstage and she told me, do not change a thing. Right away, it brought me back to 2018 when I finished second at my first Olympia. And she told me the same thing, the exact same thing, with the same intensity, with the same eyes, right? So that just hit home really fast. After the show, I went to the restaurant and had a good, meal. And the morning after, I had that photo shoot with JM, and I had an incredible photo shoot with all the girls. It was so much fun. It was so beautiful outside. My parents had a blast. We wrapped up the shoot, and then it was, we just checked out from the hotel, and we were on that road trip to Long Island. So we came here with my parents at Karen and Juan for a couple of days. I wanted my parents to the plan was kind of for me to come see the restaurant, come see the updates on the bakeries, the new location spot. I love them to death. Juan and Karen they're the realest people, one of the realest people I know, and they've always been so great for me, and I hope I'm good friends for them too, but they're so there, there's being around people that are just so genuine and so kind-hearted, and just, I'm here and they're working their butt off, and they just let me be me, and I feel extremely comfortable. And for me to be comfortable in a place where it's not my home, it's very hard. And that was Monday, Tuesday. When I got here on Sunday night, after 7 hours of driving, the entire road trip, I kept it clean. We drove, and then stuff for dinner. It was Mother's Day, so we went to I think it was Fish Grill or something, whatever, and I read the menu, and there's this filet with shrimp, and that's what I'm craving. I had bread that night though, that bread was delicious, and I had a salad and a side of jasmine rice. So I ate that, felt really good. We finished driving, coming here to Karen and Juan very late at night. I think there was a pizza on the counter. I ate that little pizza, cold pizza, and I brushed my teeth and went to bed. So that was Sunday. Then the next day, on the Monday, I went to the gym with Juan. I was at the gym. I felt really good. I had so much energy. I had a really, really great workout at Bev's. And I came back here and I drank a protein shake, spoke with my parents, was already 12 or something, and I just kind of slowly had the mindset of, well, I can probably prep right now. New York is a big show. I'm in New York. I can be here. I can be staying here and do my prep and make it easy. I was maybe, just maybe. So that little seed was right there. And then the Monday kept happening. We went to the groceries to make dinner. That's when we filmed the whole chicken recipe. So we went to Whole Foods. I got, just a salad with chicken breast and some sweet potato thingy. And we went to the groceries, came back here, made the Juan's chicken. I ate that with some rice. And I'm just okay, one more day and I'm in the house with full of cookies, and it's, I'm good. So went to that bagel place too, got some 30 bagels for everybody in the house, and I got the crumb cake, one of that big apple fritter. It's got a bunch of stuff. I wasn't really tempted. I came back here, I did cardio. That was Monday night. Tuesday, the morning afterwards, same thing. I went, back to the gym with my parents. They dropped me off there in the morning. After my breakfast, I trained slowly. It really grows into me. So then on Tuesday, we drove, they picked me up from the gym and we drove to Brooklyn. Late in the evening, everything was kind of closed. I had a couple remaining meals of chicken from Mix. I packed those in 4 ounces, the little Ziploc bag. We went out on a walk, just trying to find, vegetables or just, grocery things for the next morning so I could have my egg whites and stuff. And we stopped at a deli. I got this amazing salad and I put my chicken in it. And again, I went to bed. Then my parents, we spoke, about my whole idea of doing the New York Pro and stuff. We got that hotel in Brooklyn, and literally 2 minutes away was a Planet Fitness. that I could train for free, and that gym was open 24 hours, and it was a very clean gym. And I was just like, I think, like everything's aligned for me to just do the show. And, I had this like big giant list of places to visit and just eat. And I was, oh my God, like New York, the states of food and good places to eat. And I was still, went to that deli, and it made me so happy. I don't know why, like to see all the salad and stuff. And I was just like, okay, like it might be something there. And that was Tuesday. And the Wednesday afterwards, I obviously, that was our first day like visiting. I made sure we went to the grocery store, got, my egg whites and my chicken and everything else. I told Kim I needed to speak with him, spoke on the phone with Kim, and it was just like, you know where I'm going. And he was like, I saw you coming. And as much as Kim was telling me, like, we're not doing the show, like we're not doing any show, like I have to protect you from you, when he just told, like, I just voiced my state of mind, he's like, I get it, I've been a competitor like in the past, and I see where you're coming from, like you feel good right now, do you feel good? And I was like, Kim, like I feel great. Like not only that, like I came here with a mindset of being aggressively in vacation and aggressively eating and aggressively like doing nothing else but enjoying and not thinking about the gym, and here I am like going back to the gym and just like being so happy doing it. If I wasn't 100% sure of my feelings right now, what I'm feeling inside, I would never voice it to you, because we spoke it over and over again on the phone. It's been a very tough 8 weeks for me and for you as well, to like keep me, on track and everything. So yeah, like I want to do it. And it was like, send me chicken tomorrow morning. And that was Wednesday. So after that, I finished training, came back to the house, and we went to visit, and it was so much fun. And I had, we found a place, like we like made it work perfectly. My parents they just created that whole environment where I wasn't stressed, I wasn't pressured to be nothing else but me. And even though I raised all those expectations for them to like eat all the food, like to be around people that just really want me to feel good, like they never commented, and they were just like, no, I get it. Like they just got it right away. And to me, that was I was so grateful, because sometimes when you're open and vulnerable around people that loves you, it's obvious that you raise expectation, in some type of way. But my dad told me, and my mom, only fools and dead men don't change their mind. And as much as I was fighting it there was a lot of pros for me to do it. Pros for me to do New York Pro is because it's like, honestly, like one of the most pursued, like after the Arnold and the Olympia comes Pittsburgh, New York, and Tampa Pro. And the Toronto Pro, I think. So, and it was 2 weeks from the show. So that was pros. Then the cons were like many things, And I could have went, like I had my ticket booked to go back home in Florida yesterday. That's where I was supposed to head. And I had to change my plane ticket. I was ready to go back home, ready to have my clients, for posing and everything else. So it was set in stone that Pittsburgh for me was my last show. But here I am, now we're Thursday. And I do my check-in in the morning with Kim. He's answering me at 9 a.m. in the morning, calls me, tells me that we're literally he could tune me in for a show this weekend. And that was it. That was my, okay, let's do this type of thing. And since Thursday, I'm in my decision. I emailed the IFBB Pro League office asking for my contract, and I signed my contract and sent back my contract before the due date for the New York Pro. So I committed for the New York Pro on Thursday, and then Friday we just visited. I bought, like all my cookies and all the stuff that I kept for me, and then I shared with my parents. My parents ate that good meal. I also had a food bump on the Thursday night, and that's when I ate that like beautiful steak piece of meat with some vegetables, and we really made it work. And I had such an amazing trip. And then on the Friday morning, we drove all the way down to Newport, Burlington, because I was able to meet my brother there. My brothers work full-time jobs, so when they couldn't come all the way to New York where we were in Brooklyn, because it would be like way too far. So we got ourselves very, very close by the border, and I just crossed over. My parents rented this like beautiful Airbnb. Again, an Airbnb, how convenient to be in prep and having my parents just have an Airbnb instead of a hotel. So we had this like beautiful little cabin in the woods, and my brother came, and I made the announcement to them that I was in the New York Pro. They were ecstatic and just so happy for me. So it was just like, oh my God, it felt so good, and it felt so right to finally being able to tune all the white noise and everything else and just be like, wow, like I have this flame inside me that reminds me of when I started. And I was explaining to my mom, like, that flame was so strong back then, because I am, like, I'm 17 years old back in the days, and literally the last thing you want to be when you're young and a teenager is different. And here I am, like, from eating like those cafeteria cookies for breakfast, or like not even eating breakfast, just full switch of like Tupperware, me taking the bus downtown to go get, protein powder, and just that whole life switch. And it has to be so strong because you get judged every day. You get the looks every day. And I lost so many friends, and that's very hard for 17 years old to do, but that's the exact same flame I felt about doing the New York Pro. And I was like, this is too strong, and it's too truthful for me to just be like, no, but I said I was done, and I need the rest, and trying to like find more excuses for me to just like sit down. And it's a high risk. New York Pro is a high risk. Like, there's big names again. It's a big show. It's my 10th show of the season. But what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fly back home, on Monday. And it would be fun to be in vacation. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it would be fun to be, but then Saturday would come 5 days afterwards, and I would be like, wow, I was just there. Like, even how weird is it that my flight that I booked months ago, when I booked my trip for Pittsburgh Pro, my flight back home was literally Burlington, and when I checked to change my ticket, I realized that my layover was JFK. I was just like, okay, this is, when I saw that, I think I rebooked my ticket like on this Saturday or something. I was just like, how odd is it? When I say everything worked out in my favor, everything worked out. So, like I said, when I changed my flight and I realized that it was JFK, I just had to like not take the connecting flight. And fast forward to yesterday, thank God I didn't, because I got to the airport at 2 p.m. My flight was at 4, and the flight started like thundering really, really bad, and the flight got delayed up until 10 p.m. So if it was, I was about to like take a connecting flight, it would have been canceled anyway. So here I would have been on Tuesday, today, stuck in JFK, probably, if I make the flight, or if it got canceled, my whole flight, stuck in Burlington for one more day, and I would have been home still being pretty much in shape, watching the New York Pro on live stream because I love watching the sport, and be like, I could have done that show. And that opportunity won't happen again. And I still have 7 weeks. It won't be 7 months, sorry. So 7 months and 2 weeks of rest. And that's a lot. I haven't had that since I turned pro. So everything kind of makes sense, you guys. And here I am today. It's Tuesday. And eating my first meal, finish my cardio, train. I'm going to finish my breakfast. Gonna go train at Bev's, and then after that I'm just gonna go get my grocery store. Pretty late because I slept in, like I said. I got here yesterday night with like renting the car and everything at 2 in the morning, so I try to sleep as much as I can because sleep for me is like the key to success. So that's the whole story of the New York Pro. So I also, on top of everything else, my parents are gonna come back with my brothers to come here, and then they can enjoy the food and just the restaurant and everything. So that's gonna be a cool things to show you guys again. And I think I'm gonna wrap this video up, or just show you more later, I guess. So just making my asparagus. I'm gonna put the rest of these in a bit. Gonna make my post-workout meal. So basically 1/3 of a cup of rice, white rice, and this is the turkey tenderloin that I cooked when I was at Airbnb. So I'm just gonna, it was already pre-measured in that Ziploc bag, so just gonna put these in with my 1/3 cup of rice and the asparagus. So I got a little carried away with stuff, and I am going to eat my meal number 2 before actually going to the gym. So I have made that chicken. Actually, my mom made it. Sorry, this is the chicken breast with just sazon and salt and some asparagus. And right now I am making oatmeal. So that's just 40 grams of old-fashioned oats. I'm going to put some of that sweet drop. That's for meal number 2. All right, guys, so it's now at 3:30, and I am stopping to the post office on my way to Bev's gym. So the gym is about, I want to say 40 minutes away. I got these super cute hoodies from Bev's, and that shirt, that's the new shirt from Bev's gym. So that's what you guys have been seeing me. So the blue hoodie that you guys like, have the like khaki one. But I got these 2 because they're new. So I'm going to send these to Aldo because I got them last week. And since I'm not coming back home, I kind of want him to have them now. So going to head to the post office. Also, shout out to Abdul, who yesterday night just made my night. And for the price of the compact, I actually got this 2022 Ford full with like the rooftop and that big screen. So I'm super comfortable. All right, you guys, so that's a wrap for today's workout. So I got here, I trained some glutes and a little bit of hamstring and a little bit of just overall legs. And I thought I heard my name. And then I ate the meal that I made this morning that I showed you guys. the rice and the chicken, and then I went in sauna for like 10 minutes just to like digest my food. Then I did cardio, went back to the sauna, posed a little, and now it's 8 p.m. and I gonna run to the grocery store right now, grabbed egg whites, oatmeal, rice cakes, Brazilian nuts, maybe some white fish. So I still have my cod from MegaFit. That's what I'm gonna have for meal number 4. To be honest, like as much as I wanna hate on the whitefish and asparagus diet on PeakWeek, it really works. Like it works fine with my stomach. And all day of the show, I was so happy that I actually made fish and not chicken, because to be honest, every time I eat chicken now, like the turkey, like tenderloins that I make, just my gut loves it, but my chicken right now is just not, I don't know, it's just not the best. So I'm still gonna get like probably tilapia. That's my favorite fish, even though it's not the best fish. And I have cod, like I said. So heading to the groceries really quick, and then I'm gonna be probably home by 9, which is gonna be right on time for meal number 4. Arrived. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. This is so funny. I'm literally at the same place that I started my morning. But this is meal number 4, like I said. It's 4 ounces of cod. I have the brown rice with some little shallots that that I put in the pan, with some asparagus that I got from Trader Joe's. So I actually got the brown rice that you guys saw from Trader Joe's, and then when I went to ShopRite, I think they had those little packets thingy of brown rice. So obviously super handy, and it's only jasmine brown rice with some water. So I was like, that's perfect. The cod brought to you by MegaFit Meals. So it's good, because cooking cod in the house makes it horrible. And that's honestly the only way that I like cod. And I got this little citrusy garlic Cuban style seasoning that I put on my cod, and then I put everything but the bagel seasoning in my rice, and it looks delicious. So I went to Trader Joe's. I had to do it really quick because they were closing, and then I realized I forgot a couple things, and they also didn't have egg whites anymore. I'm missing the tilapia, the fish. So I ran to another store, get what I need, the rest, and then I obviously realized how many things that I was missing. So I obviously didn't have time to do my nails today, but I'll go do that tomorrow. And I am going to wrap this video up because everybody's sleeping and I don't want to make any noise. So I will film my last meal to show you what I'm eating, but it's normally just the egg whites with like the spinach and everything. So yeah, that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Doing a full day of eating is always kind of a struggle, but I'm glad it worked out today really well. I had an awesome workout, and I'm very ready for the New Year Pro. So I'm also gonna give a feedback on these spices. I just love the spices from Trader Joe's because they always have those like very unique thingies. I'm super hungry, and I'll see you guys in the next video.